Good afternoon, guys. We have a weekend analysis video today for the week of January 22nd. So, as always, starting off on the weekly chart, Monday won't be trading. It's part of my trading plan. I don't trade on Mondays with no news driver. So, I'll be in the market on Tuesday. Should be a normal day. Along with Wednesday, I'll be trading in the silver bullet hour on Tuesday and Wednesday. Thursday and Friday, I'll be trading pre-market since we have, and this is Central Time, okay? I'm in Texas, so I'm based off Central Time. Keep that in mind. But Thursday and Friday, I'll be trading pre-market since we have a news driver high impact coming out before market opens. So I want to be there when that manipulation takes place and see if I can find a setup. All right, if I don't find a setup pre-market on Thursday or Friday, then I'll trade that silver bullet hour and look for a setup then. All right, so going into this week, Monday I'm not trading. Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm only trading that silver bullet hour. Thursday, Friday, I'm trading pre-market and or the silver bullet hour. So this is what I shared in the weekly forecast in the Discord. You can check that out in the description below. But I stated here, NQ is currently trading at an all-time high, so there's nothing to target on the upside except for fib projections. Okay, we can either retrace, reverse, consolidate, or continue to rally. So we're at an all-time high. There is no buy side resting above us. There is no fair value gaps to target. Okay, not on the daily time frame at least. So what do we do in this situation? Well, all we can do is just take buy setups when they present themselves and take trades based on that daily candle. Okay, so I have fib projections here. These are my targets for the week, and I'm going to show you how I came up with these levels. All right, but first let's hop to the dollar. All right, I stated that I'm bearish on dollar. Okay, I want to see us trade into this liquidity void and potentially taking out sell side resting below these lows. Okay, I'm bearish on dollar, bullish on Nasdaq. Okay, my bearish bias on dollar can change if Nasdaq decides that it's done rallying and we want to consolidate or potentially go lower. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, as always, starting off on the weekly chart to determine where the weekly candle should expand. So the next weekly candle, I want to see us expand higher. Okay, and this is my first fib projection target. Okay, low, high. That's what I'm anchoring this to. You take a fib projection on that and you get a -1.5 standard deviation. That's my first target. Okay, that's one of my targets for this week. And I want to see an expansion to the upside. Dollar index, we traded into an order block last week. I want to see us expand, okay, to the downside. That doesn't necessarily mean we have to have a down close candle for the week. Would I like to see that? Yes, but I would like to see an expansion to the downside on dollar index, which would make it easier to find long setups in the Nasdaq intraday. Okay, now this is a 2-day chart for Nasdaq. Okay, just keep that in mind. So each candle here is 2 days instead of just one. Starting off on dollar first on the right, I shared this in the Discord. We have 2 consecutive up close candles. That opening price is your bearish order block. Draw that forward. Okay, you can see us hit it to perfection there. And we're starting to work lower. This is a liquidity void because we don't have any price action in between these 2 candles. All right, there's no wick or bodies. So this right here would be a volume imbalance. Okay, because there's a wick. There's no bodies between these 2 candles, but there are wicks. Here, there's no wick, no bodies, so it's an actual liquidity void. There's no trading that took place here. That's a draw for me near term for dollar. And if we get through that, sell side here, sell side here. All right, back on the left with Nasdaq, we're on a 2-day chart. I chose a 2-day chart simply because this breaker is cleaner compared to the daily chart. This is a daily chart. It's just not as clean. It's kind of like we have this small little candle here and this doji here. It's not as clean. So 2-day chart, much cleaner, one candle. All right, so we have a low, high, lower low. This last up close candle in between the 2 lows. All right, that is your bullish breaker on the 2-day chart. So I'm keeping that on my chart as we head into the daily. So more targets for this week. We have a low and a high. I'm taking a fib projection on that. Negative half standard deviation. Boom. Okay, this should be a very low objective, very easy objective for this week. This is kind of what you have to aim for. Just take the trading days day by day, since we're trading at an all-time high. You just got to take your bread and butter setup. So this is my very low threshold, low hanging fruit objective here. We have that 2-day breaker, and we also have a fair value gap that I'm treating as a breakaway gap. So I don't want to see price trade down into this fair value gap, or really into this breaker, without at least reaching our first target right here. Okay, so we've consolidated, 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 took out a low, and then we explode up, close near the high with this candle. Next day opens, explode up. So I'm seeing this as a breakaway gap. Okay, a lot of momentum here. It will show weakness in Nasdaq, in my opinion, if we were to trade down into this area. Okay, I would want to see us just leave this open, not trade to the breaker, and just hurry and reach our targets up here. And then I'll be willing to see price retrace and see what we do in this area if we ever come back down. All right, more targets. So I showed you the weekly standard deviation, how we got that. I showed you how we got the negative half standard deviation on the daily chart. Now these two levels up here, this low and this high. So this short little retracement here before this rally, I'm taking a fib on that. I'm getting some projections, some targets there. -2 standard deviation, -2.5. That's what I have annotated there. Okay, so that's it. These are my targets for the daily chart. There is no buy side I'm targeting for or reaching for. There is no fair value gap, no volume imbalances I'm reaching for on the daily chart, because we're not at an all-time high. So if we hit this target here and things are still looking bullish on Nasdaq and price is still looking bearish on dollar index, I'll delete this level, and now I'm reaching for this one. If we hit this level, still looking bearish on dollar, still looking bullish on Nasdaq, I'll take this level off, and now I'm reaching for this one, and we just take it day by day. All right, clearing all that off, clean our chart. This is what I'm looking for, and this is what I'm looking for here. 4-hour chart, it's pretty simple. All of the dirty work is really on the daily chart, simply because that is where our targets are derived from. Everything else is really just straight shot. All right, we have a breaker here on the 4-hour chart, low, high, lower low. This up close candle is a breaker. I don't want to see us trade into that. We could potentially trade down into this fair value gap. I'll be monitoring if we do and how we trade into this large inefficiency. Okay, like I said, I don't want to see us reach down into this daily fair value gap or this breaker without reaching our objective first. Okay, so pretty straightforward, bullish. I want higher prices. Prefer this area to remain untouched until we hit this level. Dollar index bearish, sell side resting below here. Here's that daily liquidity void. All right, and we also had this massive volume imbalance here on the 4-hour chart. Okay, consequent encroachment of this wick, halfway point of this long wick here would be a draw for me, and then obviously sell side resting below here that we derive from on the daily chart. Hourly chart, this is as low as we're going to go, simply because, I mean, it's everything you need to know is just right here. You don't need to go any lower. All right, a lot of fair value gaps here. Okay, if we retrace, I'll just be monitoring what we do in the kill zones, in the London kill zone, New York open kill zone. Okay, time and price is what I'll mainly be reaching for or watching for. Okay, if we retrace during London, does this act as support, these down close candles? Do we come down here into this breaker, or do we just continue to expand and reach into these levels up here? All right, dollar index, sell side, daily liquidity void. We have this long wick as well. Okay, and then if we get really overzealous, sell side. All right, so that's really it. Again, I'm not trading on Monday simply because there's no news driver, so I'm going to use that day to just study and see what the market does. What does Nasdaq do on Monday? What does dollar index do on Monday? And I'll use that information going into Tuesday's trading. That's really it. If you have any questions, message me in the Discord or on Instagram or in the comment section of this video. and I will see you guys in the market on Tuesday.